Why? Why do I have to keep making videos about the stupid bird flu? So I think the girls are jealous. Their coop is down here, and this is the new 2.0 chicken coop, new and improved. Did you know that the average Mexican poultry worker wages is roughly $9,000 to $10,000 a year? That's annual wages in Mexico. In the state of Georgia, the average wage for a poultry worker is $34,000 plus benefits. Warning, today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk about a little bit about several subjects. We're going to touch on the fact that baby chicks, female baby chicks, are in very, very much supply demand. There's a shortage right now because of this whole bird flu thing and because of egg prices. I've got a new chicken coop 2.0 that Jesse and his buddy are building down here that I redesigned based off the changes I wanted to make from the first one. I'll walk you through that. We'll talk a little bit about some tips if you're going to be getting baby chicks or thinking about it. Just some basic chicks, because I think people overthink that process a little bit of time. I've got 30 girls down there. They're doing fantastic. They're healthy. I'm getting 27 to 30 eggs a day out of my flock right now. And I'm getting ready to bring in another 15 birds in that secondary one, but hatcheries are basically out of baby chicks. This whole egg shortage thing is obviously making people want chickens. Murray McMurray Hatchery is one of the largest in the world for selling baby chicks. They are completely sold out all through the summer. So I had to go to another one, and I ordered my chicks, and I'm not getting delivery till July. And I had to pick a different breed than I wanted to, a mixed breed. It's kind of crazy. So, okay, so let's start off with, I'm going to break this up into segments. I want to talk about this damn bird flu thing again. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there, and some of these people are good people. They're homesteaders. They have backyard flocks. Have small farms, but they're putting out their own theories, their own conspiracy theories about the bird flu. I already made one video addressing this where, you know, it's not corporate greed and how come egg prices are up but broiler prices aren't down, and I explained that replacement time frame, that window. But a few days ago, I was watching a video of a guy, and I'm not going to say his name, but he made two statements right away. He said, there is no bird flu. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? There is no bird flu. And then he also gave the example of, he said, have you seen the videos circulating of eggs down in Mexico? There's Costco and Walmart. Eggs are everywhere. They're stacked up, and they're like $1.99 a dozen. They're dirt cheap, and that's because Mexico doesn't kill its birds. I was like, dude, that's not true. You know, it's great to put out those theories, but use ChatGPT, use Google a little bit and find out. So I'm going to explain. I'm going to go ahead and, first of all, if you're going to make a statement like that, pick up a phone and talk to the actual source. In other words, call McMurray Hatchery, do an interview with them, or find a big bird farm and do an interview with them. There's one person online that's done that, farmer. I'll put a link to his channel down below. He actually gets on the phone with the people at McMurray Hatchery, and they talk about the bird flu. And he interviews several people about it. It's a great series. You need to go watch that. But the guy at McMurray Hatchery said they test their birds every month, and he's never run a test without already knowing the results. And why is that? It's because this version of the bird flu that's going around is so deadly, pathogenic and deadly, that within 24 hours, 60% of your flock is dead. And usually within 2 or 3 days, close to a 90% mortality rate. Now, do I agree with all the policies of the government and what's going on? No. I think there's a way to solve that, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Yes, it is present, especially this new variant.
The thing about it is, with it being so virulent, it's incredibly deadly. So what you're seeing is, before there's no, yes, we do test. We test monthly for it. I've never got a positive test that I didn't already know was positive, because it kills your birds. In domesticated poultry, you're looking at about a 90% mortality rate. Wow. They're dead. That's the first symptom. It's like, oh, they look a little good. You come out in the morning, and you've got massive keelovers, and so it's not like, oh, we'll detect that and then the government comes out. It's like, oh, there's something very wrong here, and then the government comes out.
So let's talk about Mexico for a minute. How come eggs are so plentiful and cheap down there? Well, for example, Mexico has killed off more than 8 million birds over the past decade. They have dealt with the bird flu in several different variants, wave after wave after wave. So saying that Mexico doesn't have a bird flu problem and they don't have an egg shortage because they don't cull their chickens is not true. They have culled millions and millions of chickens over the year. What they did, however, is decades ago, they started, or years and years ago, they started vaccinating their chickens. And they started vaccinating based on the pathogen that was out there, and they've had to modify that. So I guess my question to the guy that was saying that Mexico has all these eggs is, if I had a regular chicken, a vaccinated chicken or an unvaccinated chicken, which one would he want to eat? And I guarantee you he would say, with all this vaccine crap that's going on, I guarantee you he would say, I'm not eating a vaccinated chicken. Well, guess what? Mexico doesn't export their chickens or their eggs so they can vaccinate. Same thing with China. They're not exporters of poultry. If you export your birds, you can't vaccinate them, and that's why right now in the US, we're not vaccinating. But Mexico has for years vaccinated their chickens, but yet they still continually have to deal with it because of the variants that are out. And the new variant of the bird flu that's out is actually pretty deadly. The mortality rate can easily be 60 to 90% just within a matter of days. And the reason why they cull the birds is they want to get them done. They want to get that out of there. You got one barn that's being impacted. You want to kill those birds off, get it out of there as quick as you can, sanitize it, and implement extreme biohazards. That's why it's done. So it's not like people are just going out killing birds just because they test positive. So what is my solution for this? I think we should open Area 52. And what is Area 52? Area 52 is we actually take birds, we expose them to the bird flu, or take birds that did not die off from a bird flu. We take them out to an area somewhere in the desert, like Area 51, Area 52, and we actually start breeding those survivor birds. They have some kind of resistance or immunity to the virus that's out there. And if you can breed those birds, now you're going to make a super chicken. And that super chicken has the potential to change the industry. Now that is great for a couple of years until, guess what? It mutates again and now you get a new variant. And that's always the problem. The problem is that the variant of the bird flu continually changes, and that's what Mexico has dealt with for decades, for almost 2 decades now. They vaccinate their birds, millions and millions of vaccinations, and then all of a sudden a new variant hits, and now they got to go and attack it a different way. So again, the statements that he made are not true. Yes, the blue bird flu is real. Mexico was culling their chickens until they started vaccinating, and we don't vaccinate in the US, so we have to go through that cull method. I'm done venting about that. It's been a frustration point of mine. People, if you're going to put out a conspiracy theory, pick up a phone, talk to an actual breeder, talk to an actual large farm about their experience with it, or at least open up Google or ChatGPT and do some research. All right, so I'm going to run up here and give you a preview of Chicken Coop 2.0, and I'm going to do a full video showing you the original chicken coop and a lot of the changes we've made over the past several months. Some of the high-tech kind of stuff. We have cameras all over. We have electric doors, and I'll show you some of that. But before I go up there, Jesse, who is a fantastic Finnish carpenter, by the way, he has a tendency to overbuild. And I give him a lot of grief on it. I'm like, dude, it's just a chicken coop. But you'll see when I go up here, you'll notice there's a lot of little details that he's taken in, and he's really finishing it off. I mean, he's really, really picky. He's a painter by trade, but he's also a fantastic carpenter. So I'll go up there. Now you can use regular lumber. I'll let you know right now, I spent extra money, and all the lumber I brought in was all pressure treated. So this one is a little bit higher end as far as quality goes, but he's doing a really good job. The other thing, which I'll show you, which I forgot to take a picture of, is we used regular wire like this wire fencing right here. That's what we started off with on the other one, and that was a mistake, I think, of mine. We really need to go down to a 1/2 inch. And what I found was, most of your hardware cloth is 19 gauge. 19 is thinner than 16. I found some 16 gauge hardware cloth, hardware mesh, that's black vinyl coated. It's a little bit more expensive, but I got it off Amazon and it's beautiful stuff. And that's what I'm having them do it on. So I don't have chicks coming till July, so I will do some of the finishing work on this. I'll go over it with you guys, but let me just run up there and show you what's going on and show you where we are right now and a few changes I've made. Okay, so in relation to the other coop, so our first coop is down the other end of this garden over here, and this is their outside run over here. This new run is actually being built right here. That run is about 12 by 32. This one is 10 by 20. It's smaller. That has 30 birds. This will have about 15 birds. I will say, as an example, Jesse, so explain this in your terms. So in the other coop, you have a 4x4 and then this 2x4 here, and then you have this gap. And what did you do here? What do you call this? Where you went back? Just blocking it off?
Well, I blocked it in to make everything where it's flush, so you don't have to bend 1.5 inches, you know, on your spacing.
Right. So this is, normally this would be left blank, and went ahead and shot in another 2x4. Now all this is completely flush. And that's just a little attention detail stuff that he's doing out here that really makes a difference. I did sort of give him a lesson on concrete though the other day. I showed him the benefits of using that quick set concrete, and the way you do it is you actually put water in the hole first, then you go ahead and pour the concrete, and the concrete falls through the water and gets wet, and within an hour that stuff sets up, and it's amazing. So this thing, we tried to move it this morning before we had all this on. You can't move this thing. It's rock solid. So let me just walk through real quick. If you'll notice, my ground, I brought in dirt and we built this ground up. Oh, it's a good, what, 12 inches all the way over? At least 12 inches higher because of flooding issues that we had down here. So we built this up. This is going to be a big door here. It's going to swing out. I mean, they've even got headers built in here on this. This is like home construction. This is like a tiny home for Matt, right, Matt?
It is.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to build a 6x6 house here. Nesting boxes will be over here. This will be a door that goes to the outside run over here. So I'll have a door here. We're going to steal a little bit of this outside run, not much. We're going to give these girls most of the run. We'll probably steal up to about here and let these girls come into this outside run. Then what we're going to do is put another door here, out here, so I can go into here without having to go into here. But man, let me tell you what, that is a work of art right there. So anyways, we'll have metal roofing on here. I'll show you that full build once we get a little closer to doing it. I'll show you some of the features. But I think something that's really important out here, a few things, is that I have a camera on the outside run. I have a camera on the inside run. And when they were babies and I had them locked in the house, I had a camera inside the house. It is a real peace of mind. If you hear a noise at 10 o'clock at night, you're like, what is that? You can pull up your camera. You can make sure your doors are closing. Your automatic doors are actually closing like they should be. What are you? Man, that girl's going crazy right there. That's one of the new girls. It's about time for their afternoon treats. I come up here and I give them greens. They're spoiled. I give them greens on a daily basis. Usually it's purple top turnip greens or radish greens. So they're expecting me to come give them their greens, and then I go in and collect their eggs, but I'm not. What time is it? It's about time for me to do it. I just don't have my egg bag. All right, so UPS just pulled up, and the one thing I always try and do is I try and order a bunch of different products and try them out for you guys. And if I find one I like, I'll put a link to it. Trust me, I don't think I've done a sponsored video. I don't think I've ever done a sponsored video. I've never done a sponsored video. I refuse to do them. If I like something, I'll put a link to it, and yes, it'll be a affiliate link, and we appreciate you using the affiliate link to help pay for all this damn crap. But as an example, this is I bought a chicken run door, solar, for the other coop, outside coop. This one is not solar, it's battery. And I have to have one that I can program the time on. And this one you can do that via Bluetooth. However, this one I saw, and I thought it was kind of interesting because it has a roll-up gate on it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with this one for a little bit, and I'm going to see which one I like better, because I got a feeling, I think this one is solar powered and, let's see, solar power supply unit, remote control, USB charging cable, screws. That's what it looks like on there. So I'm kind of thinking I might give that one a shot. We'll see. What else? So I ordered, I'll put a link to that new chicken wire. If I forget, remind me. The new chicken wire is amazing, by the way. That half-inch vinyl coated 16 gauge mesh. Gate hinges and latches, automatic self-closing, and then springs, those little springs that I buy, I'll forget to put those up. Remind me to put the springs on. And this is the solar fan that I have installed up on the other coop, and I will put one of these up there. And this is a really, really good addition to your coop. You want a lot of ventilation inside chicken coops, and that solar fan, when the sun comes out, it's running, and at night it shuts off. I have one on my shipping container as well. Those shipping containers get up to like 140, 150 degrees. And that little exhaust fan cranks out the air. It sucks in cold air. I leave my door just cracked, and it keeps that shipping container at a moderate temperature. Okay, so the other door that I bought, the other door that I have up here, that red door, the only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have one of these face panels where you can sit here and easily see what's going on and program it. You have to get the app, you have to go into the app, set all your stuff on it, and then hold the screen, your phone, up to that thing, and it flashes a signal. And sometimes it gets it, sometimes it doesn't get it, and then it sets it. And the problem is I'm unsure of whether it actually did it. It does work, but I really prefer a panel that I can see like I have on my other one. So this one, I'm pretty sure this has either Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. It looks like a Wi-Fi signal. Solar charging, so I got a solar panel hooked up. Open and close buttons here. You can set your time, turn light on, light off, so but it also has, look at this, look at the little antenna. I haven't seen one of those antennas in years. But what you can do is, so that's pretty cool. So that's interesting, and it feels really sturdy. It feels even sturdier than the other one. So the only problem is because it's a roll-up, we're going to have to build out the frame a little bit. But I kind of like this, man. Morning. So it's the next morning. This is they've been on the build site for 2 days now. I will summarize if you added up all the material, the electric door, what else, hinges, all the other stuff, I would say material cost, depending on what type of wood you use, the grade of lumber, somewhere around $2,500, I would say, in actual material cost. But it's going to vary based on the door that you choose, how many doors you have, the lumber. We're using just regular metal panels for the roof. And then, so if you built it yourself, you could actually probably build that thing for probably about $2,500. But you can see, I mean, what I'm talking about, the quality of his work is just crazy, man. This is a chicken house, and he's finishing this off like someone's gonna live here, which is fine. We use hurricane strapping up to attach the roof up here. And then we use 1x4s up on here. We'll put metal on it. We can actually walk on this roof. Got another post hole here, because this is where their little house is going to be. So yeah, I'm excited. John's coming over in a little bit. He's picking up some wheat straw, because what I need to do is I need to get these rows covered over with wheat straw that we've worked these rows for the garden. And then I don't think I've told you guys, but I have hired a girl. I interviewed a bunch of people, and I wanted to find someone with a good schedule that can come out here 2 to 3 days a week and work the gardens, help with the chickens. And then when I'm gone, you know, because I'll be taking 2, 3, or 4 week trips down to the beach house, I need someone to come out here 7 days a week and take care of the chickens in the garden. So she's got a real flexible schedule. She's really cool, and she's really knowledgeable on plants, which is really good. And she has her own chickens. So the guys are here. We're finishing up the chicken coop. We're starting to put the metal roof on it. Then we'll build the house in here. I had John go by and pick up wheat straw. And what we're doing is we're covering all these rows now with wheat straw just to hold in that moisture so the sun's not pounding down on my soil biology. We'll just load it up real heavy with wheat straw just on these rows. And then we'll probably be planting, what's today's date? Today is March 19th. We'll be planting first week of April probably. Man, what a week. All right. Guys are working, gardens in progress. John's doing trash runs. After he gets done with that, he's going to hop on my Toro. He's going to cut this back area. He's going to cut over here. I may have him cut this back over here. This stuff's growing so fast. Maybe even cut the pond front. Then we got to go fill up a couple corn feeders for the deer, and I've got to repair a couple of them. It's just nonstop out here lately this week. But spring is here, man. And once spring hits, that's when the work starts. I see a weed. I see a dandelion. All right, guys, that's about it for today. I'll talk to you later. Duck.